Son, you've been single for 25 years. When are you going to bring me a daughter-in-law? Mom, I need a girl to like me first. Fine, my son is so handsome. How can he not be liked by girls? Let me have a fat grandson soon. Everything is fine at home. Live well in Shanghai. If you have any difficulties, tell me. Alright. I still have to cook for your dad. I'll hang up first. If you need money, tell me and I'll ask your dad to transfer money into your bank card. In the rented apartment, Lin Fan hung up. It was about bringing home a girlfriend again. Lin Fan's mother had already urged him dozens of times to bring a girlfriend home, but where could he find a girlfriend? Lin Fan had graduated from university for 3 years. He rented a small house in Shanghai and opened a small restaurant. It was difficult for him to even support himself. Every inch of land in Shanghai was worth money. Lin Fan didn't have much money and couldn't rent a good restaurant position. His business was poor and he often only had one customer, Ziawanqiu. As for getting a girlfriend, Lin Fan had never considered it. Even though there were many girls chasing him, Lin Fan had been the school hunk since elementary school after all. Even if he was wearing a simple white shirt, there were still many girls who would turn around on the streets. There was no other reason. He was simply too handsome. After dressing, brushing his teeth and washing his face, he looked at the handsome young man in the mirror. He had a perfect figure and a handsome face. He was handsome and charismatic. Lin Fan only had one feeling. I'm really handsome. But could being handsome serve as food? Could being handsome help him afford betrothal gifts? Discovered master, system binding. The God level nouveau rich has been successfully binded to the system. Master, please begin your first sign-in as soon as possible. Just as Lin Fan was about to head out, a robotic voice entered his mind. A series of numbers appeared in Lin Fan's mind. Master Lin Fan, system level Elvon, height 182, personal wealth none, bank deposits $50. Harem, what are you thinking about? Skills of none. Sign in. Lin Fan was a little stunned. Looking at this line of numbers, he felt like his life had been insulted. If it wasn't for the fact that he couldn't afford betrothal gifts, would he still be a single dog? Mere system, go away. Ding, congratulations, master, on signing in successfully. You have received a Lake Heart Villa in Blue Wave Bay District. The property deed has been issued to the system warehouse. Master, please take note. Blue Wave Bay District, Lake Heart Villa? Lin Fan asked in disbelief. To have a house in Shanghai, it would cost at least 2 to 3 million yuan, and it had to be outside the suburbs. The housing prices in the city center were even more unimaginable. Blue Wave Bay District was a famous high-end district in Shanghai. The housing prices here were at least yuan per square meter. The districts were divided into high-level districts and villa districts. Even the villa district had distinct buildings. There were dozens of buildings in the high-level district. They occupied a large area and had a complete property management. The security system was top-notch and the environment was beautiful. The cheapest high-level district cost 2 to 3 million yuan per square meter. And the ordinary villas in the Blue Wave Bay neighborhood were worth hundreds of millions. Especially the villa at the center of Blue Wave Bay, Lake Heart Villa, had a value that exceeded 200 million. The Blue Wave Bay District was a place that many people yearned for even in their dreams. However, not everyone could afford to buy a house here. Just the price of yuan per square meter was enough to deter many people. As for Lin Fan, he owned the most luxurious villa in the villa district in Blue Wave Bay. Lin Fan tried to retrieve it from the system warehouse. Suddenly, a red book appeared on the table in front of him. Lin Fan was dumbfounded. This was the title deed. The red book was exceptionally eye-catching. Lin Fan was stunned. In other words, everything that had just happened was not a dream. Azure Cloud District, 583 Fangyan Road, Blue Wave Bay, Lake Heart Villa. House owner Lin Fan. Lin Fan flipped open the title deed and looked at it. He saw his name. Lake Heart Villa. Owner's name, Lin Fan. At the same time, Lin Fan switched on his phone and saw the news. Shocking! The most valuable lakefront villa in Blue Wave Bay was bought by a mysterious tycoon. This tycoon's net worth is probably no less than 1 billion. The news and the title deed were all in front of Lin Fan. At this moment, Lin Fan only had a single feeling. He was rich. The Azure Cloud district was filled with wealthy people, and the property prices in the Blue Wave Bay district had never dropped. The villas were even more priceless. In other words, money alone was not enough to buy a villa in Blue Wave Bay. Every villa in Shanghai was priceless. The value of this lakefront villa was immeasurable. If I sold this mansion, I would get at least 100 million. 100 million wasn't much to a true tycoon, but to Lin Fan, it was a fortune that he would never be able to obtain in his entire life. Lin Fan could buy more than 10 houses in the suburbs and be a landlord. He could even build a small second floor for his parents in the countryside. Most importantly, he could afford betrothal gifts. Take a pretty girlfriend home, have 1 or 2 kids, buy a house and a car, and never have to worry about food and clothing ever again. Lin Fan looked at the title deed in his hand and felt that he had struck gold. The property, cars, and other fixed assets obtained by signing into the system cannot be sold. Moreover, the source of any fixed assets is reasonable and legal. The paperwork is complete and no one will suspect anything. This system exists to allow master to experience life better and enjoy the pleasures of life. Upon hearing the voice of the system, Lin Fan was discouraged once more. Fine, my dream of becoming a landlord is shattered and the girlfriend I've got is gone. Was it so difficult to have a prettier girlfriend? But on second thought, Lin Fan perked up. He had the system. He could sign in once a day. Maybe he could get something better tomorrow. The name of the system was Got a Level Nouveau Rich Sign-in System. In other words, Lin Fan could rent out dozens of houses, have dozens of luxury cars, and dozens of girls. PFFT, am such an upright person. Am I that kind of person? No matter what, Lin Fan believed in the existence of the system. However, this didn't affect Lin Fan's mentality. In the future, he would collect rent and earn money every day. He wouldn't have to worry about cars and houses anymore. He would buy a few villas and drive a few luxury cars. When he had the time, he would travel around, look at the scenery, and flirt with girls. He would experience a life without stress and experience the joy of life. Occasionally, he would go out with a few friends to play soccer, golf, and exercise. It would be such a comfortable life. The life of the rich was simple and boring. Lin Fan's goal was to be a God-level nouveau rich quietly. Let's go!